Thank you for tuning in to Plug and Play Kids. Today we will be doing our plug and play remote start installation inside of a 2007 Acura Rdx. To start this process, we will be removing the column. The only thing we have to remove in this car is the column. There are 3 bolts under the bottom. There's one here. They're all Phillips head screws. One here to the left of the lever and one to the right of the lever. Once you remove them, there'll be 2 more. The other 2 bolts will be in the front, right behind the steering wheel. You have to turn the wheel to get to each bolt. Turn the wheel, there'll be one on each side. When you finish removing the bolts, turn the wheel so the larger opening is on toward the bottom. Now, remove the shroud by giving slight tugs on each side. You may need to get a panel tool because sometimes these are very tough. Once you get in there, you pop it up. On this one here, we're gonna have to turn the wheel to get to this side. Once you do it, push back, you'll notice that there's a little lever. And then do the same thing for the other side. Once you have the top popped up, shut the car off, take the key out, pull the lever down for the steering wheel adjustment, pull down on this column piece. You push up slightly on the lever, pull out the column lower half. So remove the top, just pull up. Now for this installation, you want to pull the wheel all the way towards you and lift up. The 2 plugs that we need to get to are the ignition plug, which is this one. Release clip is under the bottom. Push up. As you're pulling out, you may have to wiggle. The next one is the immobilizer plug. There are 2 green ones. This may look like it's the immobilizer plug, but it's not. It's the plug with the wires facing towards you. Pull it out, put it to the side. Now, as you can see, this vehicle already has a remote starter installed. So we're going to be showing you where the parking light position is, but we're not going to be tapping into it for this video purpose. The parking light plug is on the left side, and it's on the stalk where the parking light lever is. The release clip is under the bottom. Push up on it, and then you pull out. Once you pull it out, you'll notice there's not a lot of slack. Pull down on it and you will release the loomed area. Your parking light wire, which is it's an optional connection if you want parking light confirmation, is on the bottom row with the clip facing up, second in. On this vehicle here, it is gray. And as you can see, the remote starter in here, it's already tapped in. Once you make your connection, which we have a strip and wrap video that we can put a link to, you plug the parking light back in and you make sure you clip the loom behind the clip. Now, once that's done, you want to take your harness from the kit and loop it up from the underside of the dash to come up under the column. As you come up, you want to stay to the right side and follow this harness. Use the included tie wraps to mount the harness to it because this column does move, so you want to make sure it's secure. First plugs that we're going to plug in is the ignition. You want to plug into the vehicle first, not into the harness of the vehicle. Make sure you get a click. Second connection is going to be the transponder plug. If you look, it lines up only one way. Plug it in till you get a click. Now we are going to plug in the transponder plug into the vehicle. The clip faces up. Next installation will be the plug into the car for the ignition switch. The wire that's hanging off, this is your parking light wire. To route this, you loop it around, up and over. It's long enough to reach. If you go under the bottom, there's moving parts and you have a chance of the wire getting pinched. Now the next thing we have to do is to ground the remote start module. Run the ground up the same way, and on the left side of the column you'll see there's a flat space on the steering column itself. We're going to ground it right to this point here. When grounding, be careful to not let the wire stay down so it doesn't get bent and broken. You want to make sure this connection is tight because the ground needs to be good. Next, we're going to program the module. Make sure the power plug is out. Press and hold the program button. On the left side of the brain, right below the program button, you're going to see there's 3 LEDs. You plug in the power plug. Once the LED turns red, release the plug, release the program button, excuse me, and then press it 2 times. Next, you grab your key, turn your key to the on position, the red LED will flash, then the blue LED will flash. Wait for the blue LED to flash. Once that flashes, turn the ignition off and your module is now programmed. This vehicle is set up for a lock, lock, lock remote start sequence. So in order to start the vehicle, on the key you would press the lock button 3 times. Alright, now that you have everything connected and you tested your remote starter, the last thing we have to do is connect the wires to the lock wires in the car. The easiest way on this vehicle and most vehicles would be to pop the boot out. To pop the boot, you want to push in, pop it from the seal, and then pull it toward you. Once you get it out, you want to take the wires and start to feed them towards you. Once you get them, the wire plugs may be twisted, so you have to get it in the right position so you can pull it through the hole. Now, this is an optional step if you want to be able to control the power locks with the key after you install the remote start. Even though you are doing it through factory lock, lock, lock and not adding transmitters, the factory keyless shuts down in the vehicle and does not put out any pulses. But with our module, it reads the pulses when you hit it, and it will allow you to operate the locks through the factory key. Now you want to unplug both plugs. Once you get them unplugged, you reach inside and you pull them through. Once you get them into the vehicle, it's not a problem to get to the wires. Now the wires you're going to need are going to be this blue and this gray wire. The pins will be noted in the directions. They're right next to each other on the bottom row with the clip facing up. You're at the 3rd and 4th pin over from the left. The wires that you're going to be connecting to them is the blue, light blue, and the white with a black. To connect into them, you're going to be doing the strip and wrap that we have the link to inside of the directions. Blue will go to blue, white, black will go to gray. Once you have made your connections, you reroute your plugs back through the same way you had came. Once you have the plugs here, you plug them back into the factory door boot plug. Once you get the first one in, start with the bigger connector, then go to the smaller one, line it up, and push it into the clicks. Push it back into the vehicle, right through the door boot hole, and then reassemble the door boot by putting firm, even pressure and making sure the seal is tight, because if not, water will leak into your vehicle. Now that the installation is fully complete, to start the vehicle through your key, you want to press the lock button 3 times. You do not want to press it too fast. You want to do it in 1 second intervals. 1 1000, 2 1000, 3 1000. You'll get a light flash on the outside if you connected your parking lights, and then the vehicle will start. If you connected your lock wires, then you'll be able to come out and press the unlock button to get into the vehicle. If you did not connect your lock wires, then you'll have to use your key inside the door cylinder to unlock the vehicle. Once you're into the vehicle, you want to put the key in the ignition, give it 2 clicks, and then put your foot on the brake. Once you do that, the parking lights will shut down if they were connected, the remote start will shut down itself, and now the car is running by the key. So, alright, now in reassembly of the vehicle, you're going to go in the opposite way that you have started. You're going to start by putting the lower column in first. Pull down on the adjustment lever, get it up, get it around the key, pull the column down, pull it towards you, push the lever up. Let that sit. You don't want to put any screws in yet. Now you have this top piece, these has the hooks. You want to make sure these hooks slide in first and then slide to the front. When you do it, it's a little bit tricky because these clips have to lock into the bottom piece, and these have to line up with the screw holes so you can screw it in. You may have to put your key in to turn the vehicle on so you can turn your wheel to a comfortable position to work with the column. Once you get it in, it should pop in like that. The screws you're going to use on the top are the black-headed screws. Do not put the silver screws in there. They are too long. You can get the screw tightened. Don't tighten it all the way until you get both sides in. Start the vehicle. I'm going to turn. I'm going to get the other side lined up. And again, black screw on this side also. As you're putting the screw in tight, squeeze the panel together and tighten it up. Shut the ignition off and press it together. Now under the bottom, you have 3 silver screws left. The silver machine screw goes into the middle, and the other 2 go on each side of the column. You may have to slide this to line it up. And that concludes reinstalling the bezel.